The countdown is on for our third annual Skift Global Forum East. Join us this November 19th and 20th in Dubai as we bring together 500 of the region's most powerful travel and tourism decision makers. With executives from companies like Emirates, Accor, Dubai Tourism, and Jumeirah in attendance, this is an event you can't afford to miss. Secure your tickets now at live.skift.com and get ready to connect and learn from the best at Skift Global Forum East.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Skift India Travel Podcast. As always, we are here to dive into the latest trends, stories, and innovations shaping the travel scene in India. And today, we have Guatam Munjal, the founder of Minimalist Hotels, join us as a guest. Today with Guatam, we'll dive into the philosophy behind his brand and what sets brands like his apart in the hospitality space in India. Guatam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Peden. It's such an honor. Before we actually go ahead, I would like to take just a minute and talk about Skift's impact in my life and in my entrepreneurial journey.
Mhm.
I started the business 6 years back. I was 27 at that time, and it was Skift was the eye into the world of global hospitality, of course, right? And because of the diversity and the extent of reporting was about, I got to know about lifestyle hotels, about what the bigger chains are doing globally, about how hospitality is evolving beyond the bigger names, and that's what kept inspiring me, and I was always intrigued about Skift coming to India, and I was there at the Skift India Summit as well. So it's played a big role in the journey for sure, and it's such an honor.
Oh, fantastic. I hope you liked the summit, and I hope you enjoyed what you saw at the summit.
Awesome. It was great. I got to meet a lot of interesting people. I met people. Of course, Rafat was there, but then especially I wanted to meet Saran from Innismore, because that brand just keeps inspiring in terms of how the future of hospitality, in terms of
Uh-huh.
lifestyle hospitality is and could be. So yeah, it was a great time that I had. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Gautam.
Right. Yeah.
I think, and thank you for being there at the Skift Summit and for supporting. So, Gautam, I would like to just kick things off, with a term that we hear everywhere these days: minimalism. Some people
Mhm.
think it's just a buzzword. Others swear by it. Now, what's your take? Is it more than a trend for your brand, or are we all just caught up in the hype? How do you define minimalism in the context of hospitality?
Peden, I'd just like to start with a certain introduction of what we do. So Minimalist as a brand is design led lifestyle hotels, and we offer immersive social and local experiences. Right. A
Okay.
few pillars that define us as a hotel brand is sleek and minimalist room design, high on aesthetics and function, and the whole idea is to debunk the idea of luxury and grandeur. It's about to the point where in the mid scale segment, right?
Mhm.
We offer local tours and experiences. We offer something called anytime breakfast, and there is no concept of buffet. Um, then we also do community events at the hotels, workshops, music, art, something like a streetwear expo has happened at one of the minimalist hotels. We offer specialty coffee and F&B program, and at each of the minimalist hotels, there's also a co-working package that we offer to in-house guests and also for people who are local, right?
Uh-huh.
To answer your question about, I think minimalism as a trend or I think it's definitely here to stay. It's always been like that, but it's been the buzzword since the last few years for sure. But I think for us, it's a lot about creating the serene and uncluttered spaces, and it's definitely more about the design or the space, and the whole idea is to create a sense of calm and sophistication. It's about clean lines, neutral color palettes,
Mhm.
functional furnishing, and the whole idea is to transform the hotel room and create something that exhibits truly that less is truly more.
Mhm.
um so yeah, it's not much about sense of grandeur for us, but it's more about simplicity and clean straight lines. And When we started, of course, the Netflix documentary about minimalism, of course, had just, it
Mhm.
peaked and it was very trendy at that time. And, it was quite few conversations I had with my friends. What should I be naming the brand? And one thing led to another. And because the whole idea that I started with was to create a hotel brand that is definitely has design at the core of it, and minimalism is something that just I think is timeless for sure, and reviews on the design scheme of our hotels.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much it. I think it's a concept that's here to stay for sure.
Okay. And I love that perspective. And I think serene and uncluttered is something that we are all seeking for right now. Um, Gautam, now since
Yeah.
2017 that you started Minimalist Hotels, it
Mhm.
popped up in
Mhm.
some interesting locations. I get that Delhi has a huge business travel crowd. Goa is, of course, a popular leisure destination, and so is,
Mhm.
a destination like Shimla, which is a popular hill station. But
Hmm.
but you
Right,
also
right.
have properties in Varanasi, right? From what you've described so far, how did Varanasi come about as a location choice, and how has your vision of affordable luxury evolved, especially since more Indian travelers are now leaning towards eco-friendly options?
Right, right. Varanasi was not an organic choice in the first place, of course. We started out in Delhi, but because we are in Hauz Khas, which is, of course, the center of South Delhi and close to the airport and everything, we get a lot of transit travelers.
Hmm.
During season time, about 70% of our guests are international, foreign inbound guests who are either coming on a work trip or either coming purely for leisure and transiting through Delhi, and they will stay for those 2 3 days.
Hmm.
So when they enter India, they would like to stay those 2 3 days in Delhi, and when they're exiting India, they would of course go through Delhi as well. Varanasi became this interesting choice because, well, every traveler that I would personally speak to as well, everybody was heading to Varanasi, right? And it became like a no-brainer when just interacting with guests from across demographics, be it like middle-aged or younger, or probably your empty nesters, because Varanasi gets this crowd which is people from across age. And the more I interacted with our own customer base, I understood that this is a destination that was at that time, of course, coming up as well, and now is, I think, definitely is just so busy through the year. I mean, probably except the monsoon, which is 2 3 months, Varanasi gets business through the year and a lot of business travel as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, in retrospect, I think, yeah, that was a good move, definitely. But as a destination, also because Sweden, I frankly feel that a lot of these destinations do not have quality, unique accommodation supply. Okay. So by that I mean, of course, there's a Radisson, there is a Taj, Pullman just, of course, came out with the news that Pullman Accord just came out with news that Pullman is opening in Varanasi.
Varanasi.
So for us to, have a footprint there became organic, and it was like something that, especially in the, let's say, in the itinerary of a foreign inbound traveler, Varanasi was, in everybody's itinerary, and it just became organic that we had to have footprint there
Hmm.
for sure. So yeah, that was the thing. And about your question on affordable luxury and
Hmm.
eco-conscious options, I feel number one, how we define ourselves. I know affordable luxury is probably it's it's um, it's a buzzword that's been there of a lot of hotel brands, of course, sort of put this as one of their keywords in terms of the marketing, how their brand identity is. For us, I mean, I call this lo-fi luxury, which is a lot about authenticity, relatability, and this casual sense of premiumness. You know, it's and it's something because we operate in this mid-segment market. Through the year, we generate an ARR of about 6,000 rupees across our hotel brand. And while, I mean, if you look at our hotel rooms, we do not heavily invest into, any. I mean, if you look at our properties, it's not about grandeur, right? It's a lot about simple, straight, clean, and aesthetics, of course, plays a big role. So, One thing about affordable luxury, I think that Indian travelers, of course, love that.
Mhm.
Whatever, sort of wherever
I think that they are the
there is,
two
you
most
know,
popular words for Indian travelers: affordable as well as luxury.
yeah. So I was also trying to say that, the whole idea of domestic travelers, I feel, are ready to pay high for certain touch points in your hotel experience. If you like, for example, we offer a specialty coffee and our average price is, let's say, about 300, 350. So they're ready to pay for that, of course, right? They want these experiences. With the coffee culture, of course, being at its peak in India right now, and I think it'll peak further for sure. Specialty coffee, craft cocktails, these are some things that people are ready to pay higher for sure. And also about, affordable luxury, something that lifestyle businesses have an inbuilt sense of premiumness.
Mhm.
I mean, we don't really use the word luxury in any of our marketing campaigns or anything like that, right? But value for money still is a big factor, of course, for the domestic audience, and hence, affordable luxury sort of plays out pretty well, and in the price segment that we are. Um, but also, Peden, I would like to also talk about in affordable luxury. One major point that stands out actually is the multiple utilities that any brand today could offer as a part of one big space, right? So, co-working, meeting rooms, cafe, bar, library, swimming pool, live music, local tours and experiences, workshops, in-house activities. You know, these are some aspects that drive the community ahead, right? Like the community living aspect of our hotels, for example. So I think the broader facilities that are traditionally offered at 5 stars, if we can offer that at because again, my like each of my hotels are an average about 20,000, 25,000 square feet, and average of 20 to 25 rooms across our hotels. So if we can offer these facilities even in a smaller space, I think that just hits the ball out of the park for us. So I think also like that community and guest to guest connection is a big part of our DNA, and that's what I mean. All these things in affordable luxury, why not?
Yeah,
That's
I'll,
what I
I'll
would say.
I'll I'll come back to the community point at later,
Okay,
Gautam. But I wanted to
sure.
speak to you about eco-conscious travel as well, since your brand also embodies that. Now, it's such a big part of
Mm-hmm.
your ethos, right? But between you and me, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
are hospitality
Mm-hmm.
brands genuinely committed to sustainable practices, or do you think that it just sometimes makes for good marketing as well?
Um, Sweden, there's a long way to go, without a doubt. I think, I mean, one of the things that I was also, I think about is that maybe it's time that OTAs step up and have sustainability ranking and sustainability. Like guests can review a property on sustainability.
Hmm.
You know, are Indian consumers looking out for options? Yes, a part of that big consumer set, yes, is looking for options that have an eco consciousness to it, that care about, plastic elimination, that care about where is the electricity coming from, where is the water coming from, all of that. But there is definitely a long way to go for sure. I mean, it goes for great marketing, yes, but then I think the practices, how sustainable we can make our hotels. There is, I think, slowly but surely, a lot of hotel brands are adapting at a bigger scale. Of course, the bigger players of the industry are, I think, going faster at it for sure. But the budget to mid segment category, I think, is something where we've got a lot to learn and a lot to move ahead. For example, just to give you an idea, at our hotels, plastic elimination, I am not saying that it's 100% that we've been able to do that, but that is the idea for
Hmm.
sure, in the coming time. And of course, stuff like, solar power system installation, and probably can we in a coming time, because interestingly, I'll tell you, I was at a hotel in Amsterdam recently last month, and it was this beautiful place, definitely not budget, but it's like a hybrid between a service apartment and a design hotel. It was beautifully done. But then, I mean, myself and my partner, we were staying for about 3 days, and then, but there was no option of daily housekeeping. You know,
Correct.
does uh, does there is no option of a daily linen change, right?
Absolutely.
So can is the is the Indian consumer ready to take that in their stride and be like, okay, we are all for this? Is something that I'm not sure yet. But also from a hotel business point of view, are we ready to take those stands? Is also another question mark, right?
Absolutely. I was saying that's absolutely correct. I mean, like
Yeah.
many of, I mean, like it's not just the hybrid hotels, but many of the very big hotels,
Mhm.
very big brands are not giving you daily housekeeping. I stayed at a property recently in which housekeeping would happen on the third day of your visit.
Hey there, it's Seth Borko, the head of Skift Research, and I've got a brand new report that I want to share with you today. It's called our State of Travel 2024 report. It's perhaps the single most comprehensive report we do every year, and the best part, it's free to download right now. We have 350 plus insights in this report with pretty much a chart for basically any sector. Do you need a chart on hotels? We've got that. A chart on airlines? We've got it. A chart on consumer behavior? Guess what? We've got that too. I really appreciate if you check out our State of Travel report. You can download it now by going to skift.com/state of travel with dashes between every word. So that's skift.com/state-of-travel. Download the report, check it out, and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoy.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, certain practices, like for example, there's the whole idea of uh, you know common corridors. Let's say corridors having motion sensors, lights,
Uh-huh.
right? It's
Hmm.
such it's across Europe, it's across the Western world, right? In India, we're yet to see it being adopted by major hotel brands. They don't do it because it's probably not a part of their DNA, but that's something that we are experimenting with our coming hotels as well. But then, from a consumer point of view, if you have motion sensor lights in the corridor, so the lights only come on once you're walking through the corridor, are people what is the customer going to feel? Are they going to feel that okay, they are eco conscious, or are they going to feel that these are
Hmm.
is this like is this we
Yeah,
don't know,
cost
right?
cutting. Yes, exactly.
Sweden, there's a long way to go on both sides, from a consumer sentiment side as well and from the business side as well.
Absolutely.
There is a lot that we can do. For example, can hotels fuel parts altogether? Can we come to electric? You know, can the government give us better subsidies to be able to do that? Right. So I think yeah. So it's of course it starts from elimination of plastic as a basic, and this you using dispensers for body wash, shampoo, all of that, and not doing, the regular use and throw,
Hmm.
50 ml bottles and stuff like that. Lighting efficiency has a big role to play. Biodegradable packaging has a big role to play in F&B. And it's it's a
Uh-huh.
very interesting thought process. There's a property that I stayed, so when you were taking a shower, you had to keep repressing the tap or the faucet, every 10 seconds. I mean, it's
Hmm.
something that I really liked because, they are trying to avoid any sort of water wastage. So
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
taking a
Conserve water. Yeah, yeah.
5 minute shower, I have to keep pressing. So it's just small aspects that I feel will go a long way. As an industry, we have a long way to go. As a consumer set, I think the eco-conscious consumers in India who are choosing hotels based on how good their sustainability rating is, I think there's a long way to go for sure. But then the number of consumers wanting to choose these sort of properties is definitely rising by the day. And I think it's time that the industry steps up and sort of takes stands on certain points, because I also feel, Peden, that the Indian consumer is definitely getting mature by the day. And the more people are traveling outside, the more people are understanding that back home, certain practices to, avoid wastage, to be more sustainable is something that people are sort of getting used to for sure.
Absolutely. I like the
Yes.
honesty, Gautam.
Yes.
Of course, there is a long way to go. Now, I want to talk about the
Yeah.
vibe at your hotels. Right? One thing that stands out is your
Hmm.
focus on building a sense of community among your guests, which you've mentioned earlier. How do
Right.
you that authentic communal feel while still trying to offer a luxury experience. Also, that community vibe ties into another cool concept that you've explored, this hybrid hospitality. You know, I'm talking
Right.
about, your design led hotels that mix co-working and leisure spaces, right? How did this idea
Right.
come about, and why do you think it resonates so well with these young urban creatives?
Great question, Peden. So, the whole inception of the idea was this, right? For me, it was like, can somebody paying 2,000 rupees a night for a concept like a Japanese capsule, and can somebody paying 15,000 rupees a night in a, let's say, a studio apartment in the same building, can they stay in the same building? Can they be given the same services, the same value, the
Mhm.
similar thought process? It's and that is the beauty of the concept. I feel that, and that sort of creates more responsibility for us as well, because these are two different segments of the audience that we're trying to, two very polarized segments of the audience that we're trying to address, and we're trying to cater to, and we're trying to
Yeah,
service.
and bring
So
together, right?
that sets in the sense of, yeah, so that sets in the sense of community in the first place, because these are, again, to bring value to both the consumer sets is challenging, but yet it is the beauty of it all. I feel that the whole idea of getting the community together was that, hey, you could be a big startup CEO, or you could be a business traveler who doesn't want to spend more than 1,500, 2,000 a night. But you're in this one space where you could be working on the same table on your laptop. And a bigger part of our, of course, field, and something that I've learned from Starbucks, is the whole idea of community tables in the cafes, right? So that the sense of detailing that we go with design, and these small touch points, is where we like to bring people together, and that's a major part of our DNA. And then I think beyond that, for us, the whole idea of community and that authenticity is a lot about doing these events and activities. So each of our hotels has this community manager who takes care of, whose job is to basically collaborate with the local creator community and do events like coffee workshops, events like cocktail making workshops, events like a community dinner, for people staying in house. Events like we've hosted some very interesting events where we've done, like in a 2,000 square feet, we've done like a streetwear expo where it's all Gen Z. So we've done that as well. We've done art workshops. So it's just about, the whole idea is to make the stay more than just the stay. It's about not just your hotel room, but it's about the lobbies where you will get to work. I mean, you can have free Wi-Fi, you can have the specialty coffee, you know, you can work there as well. You can meet interesting people, etc. All of that is there, blended into the concept. But the community vibe starts from the point that we are trying to appeal across budgets. For example, right now our Goa hotel starts at a 4,000 a night and goes up to 10,000 a night. But that's different hotel category, the different room categories that is there, right? About the question of, I think, authenticity, and something should not feel tailor made, something should not feel like fabricated, or for the, I mean, they're doing it just for the heck of it, right? I mean, that should not be the idea, and that is just something that I feel that it's a lot about our staffing, and it's a lot about the people at the front end who are the service staff, the front office, the barista, the server, the bartender. It's all about a certain sense of staff training or not training, and choosing people who have a great personality, right? That's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, community is the focus for sure for
Very
us.
interesting. I think it sounds like a perfect, escape. And speaking of new
Mhm.
experiences, your latest launch, Minimalist Panjam, has brought in some very fresh
Mhm.
concepts like your craft cocktail bar, MCC, and cafe fika. So how do food and
Right.
drink fit into the overall experience at Minimalist, and how important are food and beverage offerings in shaping the character of your hotels?
I was coming to that. I think it's just something that fits the character for sure. Peden, interestingly, so the even in the segment that we operate in, I feel that creative options in F&B and F&B done well will definitely elevate the room ADRs for sure, right? So that is something that we've realized long back, and we want to make sure is a part of our DNA. That so specialty, coffee, cocktails, and for special, like for coffee, we partner with brands that are a part of this coffee uprising. So we work with a brand called Billy Who.
Yes,
We
the
work with a
videos. Yes,
brand
yes, it's.
based out of yeah, and then also we work with a brand called G Shot based out of Goa itself, right?
Mhm.
So they've been great partners in this process of training our staff. We source from them, we work with them regularly. We always are up, we're always open for learning new recipes, new skills, and barista hiring happens to them. So it's just the whole ecosystem of coffee and F&B becomes really important to elevate the hotel brand. And
Mhm.
we've got casual dining, right, as a part. It's not like we're operating multiple restaurants in one hotel, like 5 stars. No, that's not the idea. But this this cafe is also a bar. This cafe is also a co-working. This cafe will also have a small meeting place on the side. So it's just this hybrid open space that we sort of operate in, right? And we've had very interesting feedback. I mean, in terms of we do a lot of interesting stuff around avocado in our hotels in Goa and Delhi both. So we introduced, there's something that I saw was really trending in Korea and Japan was avocado latte, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot in a hotel. And it
Have
just
you tried it?
every day there is some of the other sales. I've tried it. It felt like it's something that won't go well, but there's great demand. I like it as well, but there's great demand. And something around matcha latte,
Yes, yes.
smoothie bowls, the whole idea of Instagrammable food is so at the core, right? If our hotel rooms can be Instagrammable, our food needs to be Instagrammable as well. And of course, needs to deliver the value.
Yeah, I think there was this whole trend about some dalgona coffee, dalgona. I don't remember, but it was some coffee, that became
During
famous
COVID.
through
Yeah.
Instagram. Yes, yes. So I guess, yeah, I think
Yes.
I
Yes.
would not try an avocado latte, but yes, it's you.
Probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've
So
definitely.
it's
Yeah.
yeah. So just one more point about F&B. I feel that so Peden, we're not into breakfast buffets at all. We've
Uh-huh.
taken that stance that it leads to wastage. It's something that I feel has to have like 8 options, 10 options at a price point, at a mid-segment price point. I don't think it's essential, right?
Hmm.
Rather, we would let the guests choose from a menu wherein we have an all-day breakfast concept, right? So we so if you're staying at a minimalist hotel, you can wake up at 1 p.m. and ask for breakfast and we'll serve. That's not a problem, right? So
Hmm.
this is something, again, through travels and through my experience with hospitality, I've learned that why not deliver value where it's needed, right? And for us to have that broad range of a buffet, it's just something I feel is one, not trendy, and I feel that it leads to wastage. And why can't we deliver that value on the table? A good coffee to start your day, probably an avocado toast, and probably a pancake. So I mean, that's something that, yes, it takes a little extra time for sure, but buffets is something that we've eliminated and we've sort of done away with. And maybe, of course, bigger hotels with operating 100 rooms will of course maybe cannot do without it for sure. But we're in the segment where if we are hosting, let's say, 50 packs a day and it's a full property, then it's still manageable for us to be able to do this.
Very interesting. And you've definitely piqued my interest there, Gautam. So, kind of looking ahead, how do you see, because design, sustainability, and community shaping the future of hospitality? Because, of course, one thing that stands out is also the aesthetics of your property. It's got that whole
Mm-hmm.
Japanese and Scandinavian design, which we call Japan
Mm-hmm.
D style going on, right? So, any new trends or ideas that you are also excited to explore?
So just the whole idea about Japandi design, which is actually this hybrid of Japanese and Scandinavian interior aesthetics, right? I mean, I got so into it because the whole intent was to create rooms that are easy on the eyes and high on function.
Mhm.
Some of our hotel rooms are 100 square feet. Some of our
Mhm.
hotel rooms are 700 square feet. So it's the whole idea is about to creating a look that is calm, casual, organic. Um, the design styles and principles have to support a healthy, meaningful lifestyle. Uh, so yeah, it's a lot about simplicity, natural elements, comfort, sustainability, and wabi sabi is this one big principle that we live by. That this whole this Japanese aesthetic, this worldview about which that imperfect is perfect. That's the idea. Um, so there's a lot of emphasis in our hotel design around usage of wood, stone, paper, cotton, rattan, neutral color palettes, of course, define this whole Japanese design, brown, green, and having ceramics, teapots, books, baths, stuff, and a lot of natural light in the hotel rooms. I think that becomes
Mhm.
important. So where we feel, wherever when we are now on the lookout for expansion and uh, across India, there are builders and there are independent owners that are trying to make properties. But then if the rooms miss a window, we don't take it. I mean, I think natural light becomes really, really important.
Mhm.
About your question on new trends in hospitality, I feel that this new classical is of course coming back as well, right? Uh, Classical is not necessarily minimalistic. It's colorful, it's vibrant, and it's edgy and it's curvaceous, I would say, right? So I mean, it's another trend that is coming back, and I am not saying that minimalist design sense is the only successful formula for design in hospitality, but I would say that it's here to stay. But the you know the the maximalism, for example, is something. There's some very interesting properties that have come up in the West and in India as
Mhm.
well. Complete opposite of minimalism as well. That has been able to generate a great buzz, and I'm sure it'll be interesting to stay there as well. But the whole idea of minimalism sort of works for us, and I feel that it's faster for us to make hotels with this design scheme. It's soothing to the eyes. It's always premium, and it just appeals to the Gen Z and the millennial traveler for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely, and yeah, the philosophy of wabi sabi is something that I wish we could all accept. That imperfection is beautiful. That that all sounds amazing, Gautam. Thank you so much for joining us and
yeah.
sharing the story behind Minimalist Hotels.
Thank you, Peden.
It's been a great chat,
Thank
and I'm
you, thank you.
sure our listeners had an equally great time listening to your concepts.
I had a great time, Peden, as well.
Thank you
Please go
so
on.
much, Gautam. Of course, I hope to see you more at Skift events. And with that, folks, we wrap up another episode of the Skift India Travel Podcast. Stay tuned for more conversations with visionaries shaping the future of travel. Until next time, I'm Peden signing off. Thank you so much. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other platform, please subscribe, rate us 5 stars, or leave a positive review. Your support helps us spread the word about the Skift India Travel Podcast and ensures we can keep bringing you free content every week. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the Skift channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated whenever a new video drops. Thank you for your support.